This video, we're going to analyze some situations and see what information we might need to come to a conclusion. There's not necessarily a right or wrong answer to these problems. The question is about, can you think through the scenario and figure out what information you need to come to a decision, not can you come to a conclusion here. There's not enough information in any of these problems for you to come to a conclusion. So your current cell phone company charges $30 a month for unlimited minutes. Another company charges $20 per month for the first 500 minutes, plus 5 cents a minute for any additional minutes. Should you keep your current service or switch to the other company? So one of the big factors here is going to be how many minutes a month do you need. So you could get your $10 difference there is going to be 10 divided by 0.5. That's going to be an extra, or 0.05 is going to be an extra 200 minutes there. So we're talking 700 minutes total that you could have with the $20 per month plus 5 cent a minute plan. If that's your only consideration, but that shouldn't be your only consideration with buying the cell phone plan. You should think about things like your service area and call quality and all those types of things. Are you going to need to purchase a new phone to switch plans, or can you keep your current phone? If you have to buy a new phone, you need to consider that the cost, all these sorts of things, right? That you need to think about. It's not just looking at the advertised rates on the monthly charge. There's other things to consider. Cost of driving to work is $5 for gas, $10 for parking, $1 for wear and tear on the car. Taking the train to work costs $6.50 each way, plus $1.50 to park at the train station should you drive or take the train. So just looking at the money situation here, there's $16 a day to drive to work. There's $14.50 a day to take the train. So it looks like there's a savings there to take the train. And you might have the benefit of being able to get some extra work done on the train or read the newspaper or not have to deal with the hassle of traffic and so on if you take the train. However, trains don't always run on time and things. And so if you need to have more control over your route and being able to get to work on time, or need to get there at different times that the train can't get there, you might need to spend the extra $1.50 a day to get there. Also, other considerations like a shared vehicle, where if you could have somebody drive you to the train station instead, you could actually save that money for parking and so on, and they could have the use of the car. There's all types of things to consider here as far as should you drive yourself to work or should you take the train to work. Need a rental car for 4 days. The daily rate is $20 per day plus 20 cents a mile. The weekly rate is $100 with mileage included. What's the better option? Most of the time, the weekly rate's going to be the better option here because you aren't going to know exactly how long you're going to need the rental car most of the time. But it tells us we only need the rental car for 4 days. So we have $80 already that we're spending with the rental car for the daily rate. So it's only a difference of $20, 20 cents a mile. I mean, we're going to be probably driving more than 100 miles, but we just don't absolutely know that for sure, but it's just a safer bet most of the time to get the weekly rate, um, because you don't know for sure if you're going to need the rental car for a couple of extra days. If you're absolutely sure that you are at most going to need it for 4 days, but you might only need it for, say, like 2 days, then the daily rate's going to be the better option. You might save some money that way. You're flying out on a Monday morning and returning home Tuesday night. You need to decide whether uh, to decide how to get to and from your home airport. Driving each way costs $2 in gas, and long-term parking costs $10 for a full or partial day. If you take taxis, it will cost $11 each way, which is better. Again, there's other things to consider here, like what time are your flights, right? So if you are going to be waking up really early and you're going to be tired, or you're going to be coming home late or early in the morning and you're going to be tired, um, then you might want to take the taxi. The taxis are also going to be able to get that, take you right up to the terminal where you can unload your baggage and you won't have to carry your bags. All those types of things that you can consider that are additional benefits, maybe to not driving. You also might be able to get some of your work done in the taxi cab, or you might be able to sleep, all those types of things. But normally you want to uh, drive when you are going to need your car, and you don't want to just leave your car at the airport even for a couple of days lots of times. So you want a new car but plan to use it for only 2 years. The cost of leasing is $2,000 down plus $300 a month. The cost of buying is $20,000, and you can expect to sell it in 2 years for approximately $12,000. Which is the better option? We're going to talk about some of these financial problems later in the book, in chapter 4, I think it is. So we'll come back to this type of a question right here. But again, your answers are going to vary based off of can you afford to pay the $20,000 right now? The cost of buying it is almost certainly better than the price of leasing it. You're going to have a difference there of $8,000 between what you can buy it for and what you can sell it for at the end of the 2 years. So that $8,000, you're already spending $2,000 down. $300 a month is going to be 20 months. That's not quite 2 years. So it's a better option if you can buy it, but most people don't have $20,000 to pay right now out of pocket to be able to do that. And most people also can't just pay $20,000 and sit on that for 2 years and wait for selling it for $12,000. Also, are you really sure you can sell it for $12,000 in 2 years? Who knows? The value of the car may change drastically from what you expect. So at least with the lease and things, you've got other things to consider, like a lot of the maintenance costs are taken care of with the warranty, with the lease and things, that you would be responsible for all those things yourself if you own the vehicle. You are leasing a summer home for 12 weeks and are required to cut the grass every week. You can buy a new power mower for $340 and sell it at the end of the summer for $100, or you can rent a power mower for $20 a day. The neighbor's son will charge you $10 per hour for 2 hours and provide his own equipment, which is the best option. So again, this is very similar to the last problem of do you have the money to make the purchase? Are you willing to take the risk that you can really sell it at the end of the summer for $100. That's a really short-term purchase. So likely it's not going to lose that much of its value, but that's one of the situations in which you might actually just consider renting from somebody else in case it breaks. You aren't going to have to necessarily fix it because that's usually part of the rental agreement. If it's somebody else's equipment here, and you only have to pay them $10 an hour to mow it 12 weeks, that's 120 times 2 is 240. I mean, that's a better option than buying, right? So right there, that sounds better than and it's equal to the cost of rental, right? So overall, it sounds like having the neighbor's kid do it sounds like a pretty good option because you don't have to buy any equipment, you don't have any time, you don't have to mow the lawn, and you're probably helping your neighbor's kid out as long as he does a good job, right? So if you are not satisfied with the kind of job that he does and you want to do it yourself, then the rental probably is a better option, but you're still looking at a cost of $240, even if you buy the $340 mower and can sell it back at the end of the summer for $100. All right, Betty needs to go to New Orleans for business. She flies there and back on the same day. Her round trip airfare will cost her $700. She stays overnight. Her round trip airfare will be $400. Her hotel will cost $100, and the 3 extra miles will cost $75, which is the better option. So sounds like staying the extra day is better as long as she doesn't absolutely need to get home the same day to, take care of things with work or home or whatever. It's also usually better to, be rested and things like that. Taking big trips where you need to go there and back the same day is hard. Now we're assuming that New Orleans is far away since she's flying there, right? But it could be that this was not a major trip for her, that maybe she lives rather close, and even though she's flying in a commuter flight, and that this is maybe not a big deal to make the trip all in one day. So we'd need a little more context to the problem. What we haven't accounted for would be things like food that she has to get, right? And entertainment, if she's gonna, go out and do something that evening. So as long as she's not going to spend a lot of extra money by staying in New Orleans, which is a big town that's touristy, overnight, if she's not going to spend several $100s extra on that, then she's better to spend the night, as long as she feels like she can afford to do that with her time and budget. All right. We'll end that there and come back next time to talk about these ambiguous sentences.